belongs to you. My hallelujah belongs to you. My hallelujah belongs to you. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. All of the glory belongs to you. All of the glory belongs to you.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. You know, you got to hit the unmute button when you're talking. Good evening, everybody. This is Gregory Bloomfield, and I'm so glad that you're here with us today. This is episode number 70 of the Motivation Moments podcast. We are at number 70. We're growing. We're pressing on to 100 episodes. We're pressing on to 200 episodes. We are not going to stop. There's no way we're going to stop. Thank you so much for joining us today. To all of my friends on YouTube, thank you for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe. To everybody on LinkedIn, follow the page. Everyone on Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in. Follow and comment. And also to my friends on Instagram, I see you, Kiona. How you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. And we're here at the Motivation Moments podcast, where we are going to be encouraging you, inspiring you, and motivating you to be a better person and fulfill your God-given purpose. I know that you're enjoying this broadcast, so tell somebody about it. Share, subscribe. Most importantly, don't keep a good thing to yourself. All right. So I know that we got some people in the UK that's going to be watching, people in Canada. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching from New York, Boston, Chicago, LA, if you're watching wherever in Colombia, Belize, Africa, Asia, let us know so we can stay in contact with you. Thank you so much. Also, I want to thank you to our sponsors. We now have sponsorships with this podcast. We're growing. We have Pound of Love homemade pound cakes, which are located out of Houston, a woman-owned, minority-owned company that delivers pound cake products all over this great United States. So if you want to get an Easter's coming, if you don't feel like baking, let my friend Chandra take care of you, and you can purchase a cake, classic butter cake, a lemon pound cake, and other amazing recipes. The number is at the bottom of your screen. Also, I want to thank another one of our newest sponsors, Innovo Life LLC. They are a behavioral health and a mental health company. And they're based out of Maryland. They serve the Maryland area. And their number is right there, 202-355-8587. Once again, another Black-owned, woman-owned company. And we want to support minority-owned businesses in this podcast. So if you have a business that you really like and you want to get a little bit of advertising, you want people to know about it, let us know at the Motivation Moments podcast. You can reach me at my email, which is bloomfieldting@gmail.com, or you can even go to my website at www.gregorylbloomfield.com. There you can purchase one of my books, such as The 522 Man, an amazing book. You can purchase Parenting Teens. I just got a new shipment of books, and I'd love to have them in your library. I also want to shout out to Keena Nazir, who sewed into this podcast as well, all the way from Florida. So thank you to her. And if you want to contribute to this podcast so that I can save up to get a new computer, new equipment, all kinds of stuff, feel free to do so at GregoryLBloomfield.com. There's a button in the middle that says support Motivation Moments, or you can just go directly to my Cash App, which is Bloomfield Ting. Yesterday, I spoke at my home church, the Attleboro Seventh-day Adventist Church in Attleboro, Massachusetts, and I put the link on the Motivation Moments page. A lot of people from Motivation Moments watch it, so I want to say thank you for your support. If you want to hear the word that God gave me, which was my praise is my testimony, you can click on there. And if you ever want me to come speak at your church or at your event, please feel free. Once again, you can email me at or go to my website at gregorylbloomfield.com. I'm available for private and public speaking engagements or anything that you need. So feel free to email me, connect with me, and let's make it happen. I love to come to your town or to your city. I also want to shout out to the Lonnie B Network, which is a family of networks, many podcasts like ourselves that are faith-based, that are Christ-centered, and we want you to support all the programming that we have, from Lonnie B's Morning Tea to my good friend Roslyn Long with Dear Life After, to my brother from another mother, Manny Kusimo. All of us on the podcast channel, we're all doing work for the Lord, and we're doing stuff that's fresh and but will be able to bless you. Shout out to my son. Y'all remember my son last Thursday, Thaddeus Bloomfield, a young entrepreneur? Well, today is his birthday. He turned 17 today, and he still wants my car. Praise God. Well, we'll pray about that. If you want to check out our episode, our father and son talk, go to episode number 67, which is on the YouTube library. If you go to that episode right now, a lot of people are watching, and people are saying that it was a blessed time. He did a really good job. He was a little nervous, but you wouldn't know. If you want to support him and what he's doing, feel free to watch that episode as well. Episode number 67 with myself, Gregory Bloomfield, and with Thaddeus Bloomfield, who's 17 years old today. Happy birthday to you, son. I love you. And I see my boy G, he's saying G Bloom. Ian Peters is my high school buddy from Toronto. He's living in New York, man. So I'm so happy that we reconnected. And welcome to the family of Motivation Moments. It's really good to see you. You look the same, bro. So yeah, let's chat soon. Speaking of New York, my guest today, I can honestly say I don't know her that well. I saw her reels on Instagram, and she was very motivating, very fresh view at real estate and all the things that she's doing. And she's all about women empowerment, and she's an entrepreneur. And I reached out to her because I want to basically broaden my horizons. Social media is a wonderful thing, and you can meet wonderful people on social media. And she just had a really cool vibe. And I said, you know what? I got this podcast, and I think you'd be a really great guest. And she's like, yeah, I'll check it out. And then she checked it out, and she said, yeah, okay, I'll be on your show. So here we are today. This is the manifestation of our conversations. And her name is Queenella Gibson. Queenella Gibson. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She is a passionate person, an inspiring person. She is an author. She is a real estate professional. And what she also is she has so many hats. She owns a nonprofit. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mother of 3 children. She serves as an events director for Women's Council of Realtors in North Central New Jersey. She is the vice president. There are a lot of acronyms here, so I had to research this. She's the vice president of NAREB, which stands for National Association of Real Estate Brokers. I know my boy Ian's in real estate as well in New York. And she's also the vice president of the New Jersey Association of Minority Real Estate Professionals. And she's the membership director of the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. So real estate is what she does. She's also the founder and president of her nonprofit, I Belong Here, which the purpose of the nonprofit is to create an atmosphere or a world where women can believe in their potential. and empower women to, it empowers women and empowers people in the DEI space. Collaborations and education is what she does. She's passionate about. Like I said, she's a mother, and she has a book that I'd like you to all check out. We can put that on the screen. It's also titled I Belong Here, The Affirmations of a Realtor. So this is her book. It's a book of affirmations. It's not a long book at all, but it's a little, it talks about her journey. We'll get into that a little bit, and we'll make sure that we show the link. So if you want to pick up this book to affirm you, especially if you're in real estate, or if you're a female entrepreneur, this will bless your life. So without further ado, for the first time connected through IG, here we are. Today's the day where you get to meet and we get to welcome to the Motivation Moments family, Miss Queenella Gibson.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Alonda, you need to put the clap track. We have this little clap track that, like there's a studio audience, but it's really you and me. We're small. We're trying. So how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. I'm so glad that you said yes to be a part of the show.
Well, I appreciate the invitation.
No problem. So real estate, you are a real estate savvy person. Hey, what's going on, Regina? What's going on, Stacy? Or some of our regular family members. And our Dr. Paulette is here as well, all the way from the West Coast. So you were being seen all over the United States. So I read your book. I purchased a copy, and I'm encouraging my audience to do the same. You are a real estate professional. You have a whole bunch of hats. You do a lot of stuff. You're a mother, and you do a lot of things. I know that your journey didn't start there. You have a very interesting story. So since this is the first time with our audience, talk about who you are, where you come from, your background, and how the journey from where you came from to you now being a successful real estate entrepreneur and agent. Tell us a little bit about the journey.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for having me. My name is Queenella Gibson, licensed in New Jersey, and who I am, I just received the title. I'm being labeled now community leader. I'm all about people, right? That's really my passion. If you think about everything you just mentioned, the focus, the center is always the people. I came from, I didn't come from wealth. I came from poverty. you know, Nothing was easy for me. I dropped out of school at a young age, had a child at a very young age to support my mother, which wasn't much, but it was enough. And my journey, no, it didn't start with real estate. I didn't know what real estate or even the term, the title realtor. I never knew of those terms until I decided to purchase a home, which was what, maybe 31. So, this was never a goal that I had in mind. What led me to real estate, you know, becoming a real estate professional during the transaction, I felt misled, misguided, misrepresented. And I felt it was necessary for me to go to school to understand the process of purchasing a home. So that way we would be more confident in making that investment. So went to get my license. It took about 2 weeks to be licensed. And then, well, to
Two
complete
weeks?
school. And then, yeah, it took 2 weeks to study. And then, took the state exam. And within a month's time, my license was active. And 2 months after having a license, we closed on our property. The passion, the fire in my soul, I woke up with it when I realized there may be many like me. And for me, wherever there's a need, I try to find a solution for it. I'm very solution driven. So understanding that there may be another woman like myself on this journey of home ownership without the proper tools, right? No guidance, or at least being guided by someone that has commission breath, because the only focus is to get paid. There may be more like me. And the idea was, hey, listen, the reward is great. Compensation for it is great. But at the same time, it's fulfilling because I'm doing a good deed. I'm able to educate, empower, and be a part of someone's experience. To purchase a home, it's similar to, your first purchase is like your marriage. It's like your first child. It's an overwhelming experience, right? An overwhelming feeling that you have that you'll always remember. So I wanted to be a part of that milestone. And yeah, that's what started. And then being in real estate led to the book, because feeling like then a realtor and less like a person, like a human being. People don't expect you to sleep, to take vacations, to
True.
feel, right? To hurt, to have moments where you don't want to get out of bed. Um, COVID was very hard for many of us. I mean, many professionals, right? But you had to go out in the field, you had to get the job done if you were an essential worker. But the idea was, at what point do we forget that we're working with human beings, that we're working with individuals with a soul, with a life outside of what they do? And I wanted to expose that through the book. Although you see a lot of smiles and great energy and motivation on my page, when that camera is off and the lens isn't on me, right? I'm on the same journey called life as everyone else is. So I'm experiencing pain. I'm experiencing struggle, moments of darkness, moments of despair, just not knowing who I am at times and if I'm on the right path, right? So we all kind of deal with the same things. It's just how we manage it. So I wanted to expose that because I'm sure there are many like me that want to appear to be perfect, but being perfect, that's a hard task. It's a difficult job to maintain. So I wanted it to be clear, like, hey, listen, even me, I feel it's okay to just be who you are, where you are, how you are,
Right.
and you don't have to give any explanation as to why you're responding or feeling or in the state or condition that you're in.
I think, and being a CPA, I understand sometimes, and right now, as soon as we're done with this podcast, I have a few tax returns to do, and I gotta catch a flight tomorrow to go to the West Coast as well for a brand new client engagement. So I completely understand that. One of the things, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you work for a company, is that you gotta play many hats. And we didn't even talk about you being a mother, right? And I'm a
All
father,
right.
right? We didn't even talk about that. So it's really hard, this whole balance game. And then also dealing with their times, like you just said, where you have to deal with. My mother always used to say, like, there's sometimes where you got to look in the mirror and you got to determine whether or not you like what you see. People see you got to put on that face when you are selling a property. Nobody cares about what happens in your heart. It's like, man, are we going to buy this thing or not? Can we sell it, and how much? Your kids, everybody wants you to perform, but you also, and sometimes it's hard for you to even deal with the things that of your past or the things that you're currently dealing with. And I found that when I read your book, I found that you were very open about, and I'm not going to tell too much of the book, but I want to just give a little peek into the life of Queenella, is that it's very affirming and very inspiring. And I think a lot of women, particularly professional women, will appreciate the book. It's a very Short read, but it's a very impactful read. There was an instance that you talk about, I think in the fourth chapter. The chapters are quite short, but in the fourth chapter where you talk about a very devastating thing that happened to you, which kind of was what turned the tide around in your life. It was like a very pivotal moment. If you'd like to maybe share a little bit of it with not revealing too much of the book and how that impacted you to be the woman that you are today.
Are you speaking about adultery?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
You talk about it happen around the same time as a certain basketball player.
yes,
Yeah.
right. So, I was a mother, at-home mom for 9 years. Stepping into adulthood at the age of 21, I met a guy. So at the age of 21, I had, you know, gotten pregnant with his daughter. 2 years after, 3 years later, had another child, right?
Mhm.
So 21 is where I was in the care, I was in his care, at home
Mhm.
mom. And all I knew was him. He
Mhm.
was the provider. He was the head of the house. He was
Mhm.
everything to me, right? Um, at the age of 30, think about from 21 to 30, all of my 20s, right? All of my 20s, me becoming a woman, really, right? And a mother, was with him. So he was everything to me. He was all I knew.
Mhm.
And it was at the age of 30 where I decided I'm going to get my license and be a realtor because we just purchased a home. So for me, it was like, I finally have something to do. I have, a purpose outside of being someone's wife and someone's mother. I felt like I'm contributing now to the world outside of just adding more bodies
Oh,
to the world, to Earth.
repopulating New Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So, that is when I realized things took a turn. And I think because our relationship was experiencing a change, I went from being in the home 24/7 to now, what time are you coming home? Right?
Right.
When are you taking a day off? Because the entrepreneur demands a lot of your time. So during that time, I was about 32,
Mhm.
32, 33. This is, we're now in 2020. I then learned that he was having an affair.
Mm.
So it was devastating.
I'm
It
sorry.
was, I've never experienced that before, especially I've only been in a serious relationship in my adult life. So cheating, I didn't know how to cope with that. I've never experienced it. I know nothing about it. So it was death to me.
Mhm.
It was having a man in my mind that was going to be my forever man. We're going to grow old and die together, right? Till death do
Right.
us part. I didn't see it ever ending. I didn't see it any other way. And it was somewhat like I was delusional because even when it happened, I wanted to believe there were other reasons, like, oh, maybe he might be an alcoholic, or maybe midlife crisis, or maybe just trying to cope with what was happening because my brain wanted to process what was going on and if it was over for me, if I should fight or if I should stay, because my heart loved this man dearly. Like that's all I knew. He's family,
Right.
and he's a part of me. So when that part of me died, the version of him that I once knew, it was kind of like grieving the death of a loved one, right? I
Yeah.
had to mourn and ask God to bring him back, right? In my head, it's like, bring back that image, bring back the person I thought he was, but he was never coming back. It was like it was over for me.
Mhm.
And nothing was the same. Nothing was the same after that. I then cut my hair. That's why the flyer, you see the low cut, and you the book, the low cut
Yeah.
all of my hair. I couldn't look in the mirror. I didn't connect with the individual any longer, the person that I saw in the mirror. Because the
Right.
person that I saw in the mirror with the red hair at the time, she was a mother, she was a wife. That was the only titles that I had. And it was stripped away from me. The
Mm.
one title that started it all, right? The
Yeah.
one title that meant family to me, right? To be a wife, to have a complete family. And another thing that was traumatizing is I always promised myself that I would make sure I choose the right man to be with, because I didn't want the same thing that happened to my mother to happen to me.
Okay.
Because my mom also experienced the same,
Yeah.
with my father as I did. So for it to happen, it was just like I felt like a complete failure. So
Yeah.
I was very suicidal,
Mm,
suicidal to the point that I would stay in the attic and fetal position,
yeah.
and I would just allow those negative. I don't think anyone that's probably listen, if you can relate, but I've yet to meet anyone that could relate to this, where you just sit there and there's not a positive thought that crosses your mind, like nothing positive
I
at
many
all.
many yeah, many people, I'm sure. I know, even for myself, like, I mean, when I went through my divorce, it's like I remember when I moved into this house, and it's like I talk about it in my book, my book as well, where it's like all the stuff moves in. It's like it's almost surreal. It's like this is like a movie playing out, and then I'll wake up and it's not real. And then it's like I remember when my friends helped me move all my boxes and all the stuff in the house, and then I go upstairs to the bathroom, the master bathroom, and I look in the mirror and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, and this wasn't even like divorce number one. This is divorce number two.
Oh
And it's like,
wow.
and I'm like, wait, I remember the feeling of just failure. Like I'm smart, I'm educated. I don't think I look like a toad. I don't, but why is it that I keep getting this wrong? Right. So, in terms of you describing the attic and the fetal position and not a positive thought, I I can relate to that, and I'm sure many people in the audience can relate. If you can relate to that, audience, please put something in the chat and let us know that we're not the only two out here that has experienced that type of emotion. But please continue. How did you get? Let's encourage our audience today. Like, those emotions are real, and I empathize with those. How did that situation turn around to make you the person who you are today? Because Queen is in your name. So take us through that journey and how we can help and motivate someone who wants to start a business in spite of a tragedy that has happened in their life, whether physically or emotionally.
So during that time, like I was saying, it wasn't a positive thought that crossed my mind. And God had me in a place where of isolation. I was by myself,
Mm.
and just alone. And he had to take me there. He had to get me. He had to sit me down because I was
Mm.
on a high horse. Everything was going well for me. I was spoiled.
Mm.
And it got to a point where no one could really pull me out, but a cousin of mine, a cousin that I went to war with. I couldn't stand her. I hated her. She hated me. But God
Oh, wow.
sent her. God sent her. And I call her my mom today. But that's we've definitely she saved my life. She allowed God to use her. Um During that time I was in real estate, so I had my business already running. It did fail, like not fail in a way where um you know I went out of business, but I mean, like, I
You took
just
some
broke even.
losses, took some
Yeah,
L's.
there was
Yeah.
no, yeah, there were
It
no
wasn't
reason to really.
profitable.
Hmm.
It wasn't profitable at the time.
Not at all. There was no real reason for me to keep going, but I needed something. I needed a purpose. I had nothing else. And what God taught me is resilience. What God taught me
Mm.
that, when I look back on everything that I went through, I had to go through it to save many. I used to always say to God, let me be a blessing to others. Bless me so I can bless others. But when I always thought it would in my mind when I made that prayer was financially, like, God, add more to my bank account so I could be a blessing to others. But
Right.
he saw fit to make sure that I went through things that, you know, the experience that I had, no one could pay for, you know? So to be in that moment now, to connect with so many women, and not just women, men as well, that relate to the things that I discuss. And they cry to me and tell me, like, Queen, I'm going through the same thing right now. So for those that are lost in their journey, you know, when you can't find your way, it's like a roadmap, you know, to kind of give you that courage to keep going. I
Right.
say that as long as you can go through what you go through, give yourself time to heal. It took me years. It took me years. But don't allow your spirit to die.
Right.
That's one relationship I didn't let go of. That's
Hmm.
one relationship I never let go of. I made sure I got up. If I got a call, I went to go see that client, even in my misery. You know, I made it through. And that's all it is. It's just to keep fighting every day, you know, to get up and to find purpose in every day. Don't
Hmm.
lose your spirit. Don't let the spirit die. Because honestly, everybody life is going on, everyone's happy, they're talking about, he just proposed, meanwhile you're just like, there's really nothing to be happy about. People
Yeah.
celebrating the birth of a new child and you like, oh, congratulations, but really there's nothing to be happy about, right? And you
Mm.
kind of avoid people, because while people are celebrating and enjoying life, you don't want to be in that mix, you know,
Right.
because it's just not where you are today, it's not where you are in that moment. I say push through, push through, push yourself to get into those environments. Just like going to the gym, you push yourself to go to the gym, because after a while you'll see change, you'll see the
Mm.
transformation. You have to push yourself out the bed, even if it means you may not make it to the shower, but brush your teeth, put some mouthwash. You know, you may not make it, you may
Please
not make
brush
it to
your
the
teeth. Yeah.
stove.
Hmm.
Yeah, you may not make it to the stove to make them you know, have a decent meal, but order that DoorDash. Just make sure you don't lose yourself, because I lost 50 pounds and my bones were sticking out. I just looked ill. I looked sick, like I was dying from a disease, you know, because I could not get out of bed. So
Jeez.
I say push yourself, get back in that ring, keep fighting. Don't let it knock you down and you stay down. Stay down just a little bit to learn whatever
Mhm.
lesson God is trying to teach you. Because pain will stick around until it teaches you a lesson. Okay, that pain won't go away until you learn a lesson. So learn a lesson. But get back up and get in that ring, get in line, and keep fighting.
Exactly. I mean, one of the things, and I'm so glad you said that as well, is that one thing that I've learned in my life is this: just because you may fail in something, whether it's your fault or not, it's still, you still took an L. It doesn't mean that you are a failure. It doesn't mean just because you fail in something, yeah, no matter what, keep pushing through, keep pushing through. And just because you failed at something does not mean you're a failure. It doesn't have to define you. In fact, many times as believers, as Christian believers, we go through things that suck, that hurt. But then when you get through the other side of it, it's almost like you want to say, thank you, God. Yeah, I had to go through that pain. And Zenja even says it's hard to celebrate in the. Let's put that back up for a minute. It's hard to celebrate in the midst of your heartache, but you definitely have to keep pushing. Yes, exactly. So that's a word for somebody today, but specifically someone who wants to do a new thing in their life, whether it's write a book, start a business, start a ministry, whatever it is, and the failures of your past has crippled you where you don't feel inspired to do it. Because if I can fail in this big thing, I don't even want to try bigger things. But we just have to remember to keep pushing through. And I love the fact that you said that, Quinella. I really appreciate that. We are here with Queenella Gibson. We're here, the real estate queen of New Jersey, and someone who is gone through some stuff. And you're looking at not just a survivor, but someone who's a successful person. And that could be you too. So let's talk about because of what you've been through and you're successful in real estate, in the state of New Jersey? Just New Jersey, or are you also in New York or PA or
New Jersey.
New Jersey? Okay. So you're just in New Jersey. That's where you are situated in, and that's where you're blessing many people. You also wanted to start a nonprofit, and we know that you are the founder and president of I Belong Here Incorporated. Tell us a little bit about that. Was that in conjunction with the real estate business going well, or is this something maybe after the fact where it's like, hey, I'm doing pretty well. Let's find a way to give back. I don't want to, if I've been successful in this business, well, why don't I start a nonprofit? And tell me how that came to fruition.
So, like I said earlier, any and everything that has to do with people, I get excited about it, right? My passion is people.
Mm-hmm.
So, was hosting events, hosted about 50 events in 2 years. And the book came out, started the events in 2022. The book was released 2023. The book I Belong Here. And towards the end of last year, fourth quarter, after we finished I ended the conference, which is Q4 Mastermind. We hosted the first Saturday of each month, every October. So at the
So what
closing
happens
of
at
that
that?
event,
What happens at that mastermind? Can you just maybe give a little more detail of the mastermind? What goes
Q4
on there?
Mastermind, I go after influential people. So it may be related to real estate. Like the first year was in for investors, for investments. The
Mhm.
second year was wealth equity. This year is health equity. So it
Okay.
has a different title each time. The first year we had influential speaker MG the mortgage guy. Not sure if you're familiar with
I've
the
heard the name.
individual. The second year was Wallow. And then this year we'll be having Rashad Bilal, who is the CEO of Earn Your Leisure. But towards the end of last year, I was putting a calendar together for this year. And I thought to myself, you know, I have a community of people, but they're all scattered. No one knows each other. We only connect for these events. How do I keep us engaged throughout the year? How do I keep them engaged, with each other, with myself, and what's happening throughout the year? So I thought nonprofit. And then I thought, you know what? There's a need. Everyone keeps pushing me to, focus on women because most of the events that I host, predominantly men. I said, okay, we're going to just make this special for us ladies, just ladies. So the idea is to empower women through professional and personal development. So when we think professional, I'm talking hands-on workshops with, business workshops. We have a workshop coming up. It's a webinar actually for social media marketing and branding. We had a dental workshop where dentists from our community spoke to us about hygiene and how to care for our teeth, and how the questions we should be asking at every dentist appointment. We have doctors, nurses. We have so many different professionals within the community that teaches us how to you know evolve personally and professionally, like how to make improvements, find ways to scale even in our business. But what I love about what we're doing, it keeps us communicating one with with the other, and we're always networking. Everyone's pouring into each other financially, even, people are coming together and they're giving opportunities. Like we have a CPA in our community who has a huge portfolio, and she connected with a realtor, although I'm a realtor, but what's yours is yours. Your business is your business, right?
Right,
So
right.
she chose to connect with one of the ladies in our community, and they're making a lot of money together. We have a self-defense class coming up, teaching you how to defend yourself for those realtors who are showing properties and you don't know who your client is. You don't know that individual, and if you are ever attacked from behind, you may be a fighter that could square up. Oh, I
Looks
think
like
I lost you.
oh, she's back. Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's funny. It went out when you said squared up.
I know, right? Yeah, so it's just trying to figure out what what are the issues that we're facing as women and how can we address them,
Okay.
right? So that's pretty much what it's focused on. It's just figuring out a way that we can also encourage women to use their voices. I always tell my ladies, my community, that your voices get power, and if you're too silent, you'll never, often we won't heal. Like when you hear yourself
Hmm.
speaking out loud about the things that you've overcome, I think it empowers you. It gives you
Right.
the strength to move, to keep going, even in your current situations, because you remind yourself of what you've been through. And if I can go through this, I can get through that. Like if I went through this, I can get through that. So, and then also empowering other women, your neighbors that are on the journey with you.
You just hit the nail on the head right there. Is that a lot of times, not to sound like super churchy, but like, some people say like your setback is a setup for your comeback. So a lot of times, and this is speaking to most of my audience is women, like 2/3 are women. So it's like a lot of times when a woman or a man, but mostly women, when they go through something that's devastating, whether it's a breakup or adultery or the death of somebody or whatever setback it may be, if you can get through this, then you can set up an LLC. If you can get through this type of rejection from a man, then you can go through a rejection of a sale that didn't close, or somebody says no, I'm not interested. It gives you tough skin, so that way in the business world you can be successful because you know what it is to fail. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
yeah. So I appreciate your journey tremendously. I mean, we could talk for another 3 hours about this stuff. So we're just scratching the surface. But I want everybody in the audience to make sure that they pick up the book. So I'm going to ask our lovely producer, Alana, to put a picture of the book again on the screen. If you could tell us where we could pick up the book. It's I Belong Here, The Affirmations of a Realtor by Queenella Gibson. It will bless your life. It's probably like 26, 30 pages. It's a very short read, but it's a very impactful, very powerful read for those who want to be affirmed, whether you're a realtor or whatever type of business, a lawyer, an engineer, a stay at home mom, whatever. It will definitely bless your life. So, if you could tell us how people could get a copy of this book, and that would be great. And then I have one final question for you.
You can visit www.queenellagibson.com to purchase the book. I have apparel as well. And all of you can learn more about real estate, the nonprofit, and even, if you're interested in speaking engagements, all of that is listed on the website, www.queenellagibson.com.
Awesome. Awesome. Final question. And I want everybody to like, share, subscribe. If this interview has touched you, blessed you, you need to share it with everybody in your social media community. So, YouTube, what's up? Facebook, what's up? LinkedIn, what's up? IG, what's up? So, please share this with your community. Final question. Now, as I mentioned before, behind the scenes, that I kind of took this from another podcaster, but you're not going to tell anybody. You've accomplished a lot, and I want to definitely commend you for your resilience and being a shining example of the power of what someone who's been down can get back up, and using the stuff that you've gone through to empower yourself, be an example to your children, and also to other women, not just in New Jersey, but all around the world. Let's say that all of your accomplishments vanished. The website, the shirts, the book, the nonprofit organization, everything's gone It's just Queenella Gibson with a pad and a paper. And all you're going to do is you're going to write down 3 pieces of advice that you want to leave as your legacy for other women, particularly, millennials, that you want to leave um, as words of wisdom for them to go to the next level. I want you to speak in that camera. We're going to dip me out and you going to talk. And just give us kind of like your 3 pieces of advice that you would write down in the Bible, the book of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, the book of Queenella. All right. So chapter 1, what would you say?
The advice that I would give, it's okay to start over.
All
It's
right.
okay to start over. Starting over means you get to know who you are again. Maybe a lot about you has changed and you need to connect with yourself to figure out where are we going? Where are we headed? What are we passionate about? Reminding yourself that you've played a role. You've played a role and you got so caught up in the lines. You've been acting it out for so long. You know nothing else. But you forgot that you're the director of your own story. And you should be sitting in the director's chair. And you should be making decisions for yourself. You should be making choices and decisions to shape your own destiny and not to do what is expected because of the role you've been playing for so long. Next, I would say is don't wait until you lose everything to then want to take time to fall in love with your inner self because that's all you have left. All you have now that's standing with you is you. Put you first. I know
Mm.
you might be a mother, you might be a wife, but once all of that is stripped away from you, what do you have left? What do you have left? Love yourself. Self-love isn't just going to the spa, get your nails done, taking showers, hot baths with a cup of wine and a book in your hand.
Brush your
Self-love
teeth.
is right. Self-love is to really figure out what your triggers are. Why do you respond the way you do to certain things? What environments are you in that may be unhealthy? You have to remove yourself because when you go into these environments, it makes you feel insecure. It
Right.
makes you feel less than. It's not the individual or individuals in that space that's doing it. It just may be in an environment you need to no longer be in. It no longer serves you. So
Sure.
don't wait until you lose it all, until you almost lose your mind, your
Mm.
dignity, and your reputation to put you first.
Mm.
Last, I would say is it's okay not to be okay. I know we hear that all the time, but seriously, it is okay to walk into a meeting and to say, I don't want anyone to ask me what's wrong with me. I've done it. Don't ask me what's wrong with me because I'm gonna break down and cry. Today isn't a good day for me.
Mm.
I'm not gonna fake it. Today is just not a good day. So please be gentle with me. Please be careful with me. I think it's best to do that than to have others speculate and wonder, is it something I did to her? Why she's acting like that?
Mm.
If you're surrounded by people you feel safe with, it is okay to walk in that space and let everybody know if they're going to be responsible, you should be responsible for each other and hold each other accountable. So in that case, when you're having a great day, you walk in and you say, guys, I had an amazing day. Let me tell you what happened. You should be able to walk into that same space and say, listen, guys, I need y'all to really pray for me or to look out for me or to care for me or I need your help. Asking for help doesn't make you look less confident. It's always how you ask. If I ask a question and I sound weak, if I ask a question and I sound like, you know, I'm just a fool, because I'm presented with an opportunity that I know I should take. When you come off like a know-it-all, people just expect you to always have it together. You're strong, you can get through it.
Yeah.
But if you go to someone that you trust, it is okay to let them know where you are and what's going on
Mm.
because that person could save your life. You find yourself in a dark space too long and you get deep and deep into it, you probably will never find yourself out. You'll just keep digging yourself into that pit, and no one will be able to pull you out of it. So don't allow yourself to go too deep in where no one can save you. When you're not having a good day, when you're not okay, it is okay to let others know.
Thank you. We're going to let that breathe. Usually I say something afterwards, but I think the third point is very important. It's okay to say that you're not okay. And you know what? The other thing too is you will be okay.
Right.
Just today I'm not okay, but I'll get there. Just,
Right.
we're all a work in progress. So I appreciate
Right.
that. This is Queenella Gibson. And we have someone, Zendish Stalwart. This is my lady. She said,
Thank
keep up the
you.
great stuff and empowerment. She's passionate about empowering women as well. She does it at the high school level. So the two of you should talk. But definitely, this was empowering. If you were blessed today, audience, please let me know by saying something in the chat. How can we reach out to Queenella? Your social media handles, your email, how else? What's a good way to reach out if any of these ladies have any questions or if they want to partner with you in some way?
So you visit queenellagibson.com and you select contact. All of my social media handles are there. My link tree, my YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. If you're interested in booking for speaking engagements, you can find that on the website as well. Also, real estate, the book, the apparel, the nonprofit. And then, too, just to see what we have going on. Most of our events for those that are out of the state are also virtual. So if you want to attend, most of them are not, there's no fees, free of charge. We also have partnered with Google, Grow with Google. So we are accepting applicants for the programs that we have in project management, IT support, and many others, business intelligence, digital design. And what this does is it's preparing you for a Google certificate where you could be um, receive like a job placement in at least 336 Fortune 500 companies. So we are partnered with East Orange now with the high school, and we're going to be assisting teenagers to get them prepared for this program. So if anyone that's on here and they're listening and you're interested in making close to six figures a year,
Oh,
Google wants to support you. They want us to target the underserved communities where people are being overlooked, and there are opportunities for us. We just have to figure out where the resources are, like who has these opportunities, and I'll say we're one of them. So make sure you connect with us and see how we can grow together.
awesome. Connect with this Queenella Gibson. This was awesome. Hey, and listen, if you're enjoying this show and you enjoyed this episode, let us know. Put something in the comments. Send an email to bloomfieldting at gmail.com. Let me know on Instagram or any way that you want to reach me on Facebook, on YouTube, or whatever. If you want to sow into this ministry, please do so at gregorylbloomfield.com. If you want to purchase a book, you can do so through the website at sisterpamelapublishing.com. This was an Amazon best-selling book for men. And if you have a son, hey, listen, it's springtime. You want to get your reading on. Read something between now, which is Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday. Get your reading up. Successful people read, and they heal, and they overcome, and they get back in the game. So I thank you so much, Queenella Gibson, for being a part of this show. And this won't be the end. We'll definitely be connecting again. You're not that far. I'm in Boston, you in New Jersey, so it's not that far. All right. So until the next time, Thursday night, we're having our Vitamin B, our Bible study on Thursday night, a 30-minute impactful word for you. I'm going to do a little Easter theme. So if you want to check that out. And then, we're wrapping up the season. Our last episode for season 5 will be next Sunday. And I have none other than my boy to close it out, Mr. Corey Hughes. So we are going to, you see more advertisements for that. And we're going to have an amazing time and close out season 5 strong. We're not going to leave you alone in April because we have so many shows now. This is number 70. We have so many shows to play back. So that way we won't leave you alone on Sundays and Thursdays because now you love us. We're a part of your life. So you can't, do without motivation moments. But we'll see you on Thursday. Until next time, this is Queenella Gibson. My name is Gregory Bloomfield. Be encouraged, be inspired, and be motivated. Have a wonderful night. God bless you. Have a powerful week.